There we go. All right, now, am I still sharing here? Did I get out of that?
No, you got to share again.
All right. There we go. All right.
There you go.
Okay. Now, all right, so let's start over. So in order to change the name at the top of your show, you're going to double click on the brown line, okay? And then you can just type in this box right next to where it says program, and then you're going to hit apply, okay? And then you're going to hit go. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty here, all right? So the very first thing you see in the rundown, and my rundown, is pre-show tease. If your 30-minute show does not have pre-show tease in A1 row, you need to put it in there. So you're going to put your cursor in there, and to start typing in one of those rows, you just have to backspace, right? Just do a couple of backspaces, and then you can type. And then you just hit enter, and there it is. So A1 should say pre-show tease. Under segment, it should say copy. Under anchor, it should say your name. Under actual time, give it about 12 seconds. So if you can see this, go ahead and make those changes. Now we're going to move on to A2. All right, A2 is the pre-produced open, okay? Right now we're just labeling these three things, and I'm going to go back to pre-show tease and show you how it's set up and how it's scripted. So A2 should be something called the pre-produced open. That is something that we recorded like 5 years ago. It's in the TriCaster. You don't have to write it. All you do in that script is write the word open. But on the rundown in A2, it should say pre-produced open, backspace if it says something else. Under segment, it is VOSOT live, okay? VOSOTLIV. There's no anchor for this, okay, because it's just the open, and it's about 5 seconds long. Under A3, it's going to say anchor intro. All right, this is going to be you reading. It is a copy story. If we were producing the show, you would literally be sitting at the anchor desk, okay? It's about 4 seconds long. All you do in this script is you say, good evening. My name is Mary McLaughlin. Welcome to Pirate News Network. All right?
I have a question. Dr. Courtney's got a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
How do I add another A block? Or is that like relevant?
An A block? Like the whole block or just a row?
A row, I guess I should say. Like
right,
it
so put your cursor. See where it says page. See where my cursor is and all those A1, A2, A3, A4. If you want to add a row, put your cursor right there and hit Control I.
Right? Hit Control I.
Yeah, and then just you got to put something where it says title right here, or else it won't let you do it. So just say like story 5 or something. Just call it something, and then you can change the name of it later.
To anchor intro.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And if you want to move rows around, you can do that too. You can click on the row number. You can move it up. You can move it down. You can move, 2 rows at a time if you want, if you use a shift key. In order to move a block of rows, you hold down shift, you click on the number, and then, move it where you want it to go. All right? All right, so let's go back to the anchor intro script. Okay? So in order to get this to say anchor Mary, I have to use Control L. If it's already there and somebody else's name, if you double click it, what? Connor, you're logged into my computer.
Ooh.
So you must have logged into 01, Connor. So
on computer 01?
Yeah, or you're in my ENPS. You must be in my ENPS.
I think, yeah, because I was on your whole.
Okay,
I don't have a whole.
You should have a folder. You don't have a folder?
No.
Oh, crap. Hang on. Let me make you a folder.
I have a folder next to hold, but I don't have hold, Connor.
Okay, hang on. Oh, for Christ's sake, hang on. All right, I'm about to make you a folder. That's our problem. There. Now, I want to go back to my folder. Now you have a folder. So go to your folder, go to these folders down here where it says systems, click the green dot, pull up the list, and find yourself, you're right there. And open that, okay?
No, I don't see my name. Maybe I have to close
You
out of
probably
it.
have to close it. You probably have to refresh it, like close out of EMPS and then get back in.
Okay.
And then do. Okay. So Brian is leaving. He's spending the rest of the day doing some other things. If you're on a Mac and trying to do this and you are having issues, just email him, okay? And I will send his email to everybody in just a little while, okay? It's Brian Russell. You can type it in the directory and russellb@ecu.edu, okay?
Dr. Mary, was he supposed to be fixing the computer that I'm supposed to be on?
Yeah, so are you not, okay. So what computer you can't get on? What
It's
computer?
still not letting me connect. It's P19.
Okay. Okay, so try P12.
P12.
In 204, in room 204.
So I say JE204.
P12. P12.
Okay. Still not letting me connect.
All right, let's see who else isn't here today.
P12.
JE215 P12.
JE215.
Austin is missing.
So yeah, try his.
Yeah. JE215-P12. Try that.
It's still not letting me connect. I think I might be doing something wrong.
He's probably not on the VPN.
So Brian thinks that you're probably not on the VPN. So
hold on, I'm gonna share my screen again.
Okay.
You might want to pause your recording.
Oh, okay. Okay, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Sharing here. Thank you, Brian. Okay. All right, now let's go back to this. So I'm in my script here. I am in the anchor intro, and I gotta add that red command for the director. So I'm gonna hit Control L, okay, and I'm gonna type my name in here and hit insert, and it's gonna say anchor and then the name. And then if I want to change this, I just type anywhere. Any black text that you see, you can erase, you can delete, whatever. If it's in red, that means you got to double click it to fix it, okay? And this person didn't quite do this right. I'm going to delete this. Okay. Yeah.
Where does
Hang on just one second. So
Oh, okay.
once you complete a script, then I always want you to hit the X in the right-hand corner. And it's going to ask to save, and you're going to say yes. All right, yeah, Marcus, go ahead.
What does take OTS mean?
Take over the shoulder. That's an
Oh.
over-the-shoulder graphic, okay? And
Oh.
so, you know, normally, if I'm teaching this face-to-face, we start out with the PNN 5 at 5, which is a fairly simple show. It's only got 5 stories in it. Then we do a 10-minute. The first 10 minutes, which is more complicated. By the time we get to the second 10-minute, we are adding graphics to every story. Either an over-the-shoulder graphic, which is going to, be over the shoulder and have some kind of an image in it, or we're going to do a banner at the bottom or something like that. But for
Okay.
us, right now, we're just going to look at the basic commands. Once you get the basic commands, then you're going to understand exactly, what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now, the story 5 right here is turning out it's going to have to be my lead story, which I'll put in a minute. So up here, we got let's go up to the pre-produced open above anchor intro. The only thing we're going to type in there is the word open with, something. I can just say open. That's just to give the director that page that says open so that they know that's what's coming up, okay? Don't have to write a script for that because it's pre-produced, but we do need that word open. All right. The very first thing that we started with today was the pre-show tease, right? So if we open that up, and it says anchor, but that's not how we do it. To do anchor, we do Control-L and type our name. Oops, which should be in capital. Right there. All right, another thing you want to note is that all of your scripts should be in capital letters. The reason that we do that is because it makes it so much easier for the anchor to be able to distinguish what they read from a soundbite that's in a script. So if you have a soundbite that's in a script, it will be in regular sentence case. But any script that's rolling through the teleprompter that somebody is reading is going to be in all caps. So if you can see here in my pre-show tease, it's all caps. So what we're going to do for the pre-show tease is we're going to look at, and you can't really write the pre-show tease until you have your whole top block built, okay? It's kind of like the abstract of a research paper. You really can't write the abstract, which is a summary of the paper, until you've written the paper. All right, Kayla, I just saw your question. In order to remove a red command, double click on it. And then it's going to give you the option. Look here. See this box? It's got delete command at the bottom, and you can delete it. Or you can change it, okay? All right. So we're going to pick 3 stories in our top block, which is the A block, and we're going to tease them. If you have something really interesting farther down in your 30-minute show, you can tease one of those stories if there's something really good. Always include the lead story in teases. We always have to tease the lead. And then some other stories that you think would be of interest to your audience that have good video, that are teasable. Those are things that you think about when you pick out the stories to tease. A tease is not a headline, but it's a sentence or two about the story without telling the whole story. It's enough of the story to get your audience to be interested and stay tuned and watch. Okay, so let's look at these teases. A new discovery nets 3 scientists $1 million in cash. And this is actually a little short for a tease. So if I wrote that, I was not doing a good job. So I really want to do a banner here. With
Dr. Mary, can
Yeah.
I delete whatever, like, the pre-show tease that's in my...
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So what I just did here was I hit Control K and I got my box with all my choices in it, right? This is a really important box. We have 2 important boxes. We have the anchor name box, which is Control L, and then we have our story choices box, which is Control K. And for little banners that we use in the pre-show tease or to decorate a story, a graphic is really a decoration for a story. I mean, you're literally putting an accessory on it so it looks prettier, right? So that's what we're doing. I'm making a little banner just because I like them. Okay, and then I'm going to insert it. And generally,
Are
yeah.
we following you? Are we doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, yes, so as I do these things, you might want to do them in your own show if you can, or you can make a note, or after this is over and I've recorded, and the video is recorded, I can then share it on Canvas, and then you can watch it and go through these steps again. So, in our teases, we're going to create a banner, okay, for every tease. I'm going to create another one, Control K. Choose the other button for this, and then we have to type banner. And what is the story? I need some keywords about the weather. So picture perfect. There. So I made my first tease a little short, and I don't know what the story's about. I don't know. I really need to find a lead story. So I don't know. Maybe I should just go find my real lead. And to do that, I'm going to minimize my EMPS. I'm going to go to Chrome. And I'm going to go to CNN, which is newssource.cnn.com. And the username is EAU. And the password is agent, AGENT. And I'm going to sign in. So there's a lot of stuff happening. We've got hurricane stuff, we've got fire stuff. What's our top story? So Florida's gone back to eating inside, okay? Looking. What do we have here? Oh my, this looks like something. What is this? Oh, Reed Binion did a custom look live on this story for WITN. I just heard it. He's like recording it live. Let's look at this script. All right. Interesting. So what kind of story is this? We don't even know. It's probably going to be like a SOT.
Where in News Source are you to, like, I can't find that video.
And you don't have to use this. What I did was if you look over here at this gray menu, right, it says content type, and then you scroll down, scroll. And I always, when I get into this, I always go to top stories first, just to see, you know, what is going on. Like if there's been anything really huge overnight or whatever. So I think this is probably, I don't know, like the shooting in Portland over the weekend. That's a really big story.
Yeah.
If we wanted, it depends on what you want to lead with. If you want to lead with the virus, or you want to lead with
Portland.
yeah. So let's see what we've got, what kind of script we've got. Here's a package on Portland. All right, so I think maybe that's what I want to lead with, okay?
Okay.
So now I gotta write my T's. So here's
What's the slug for that?
it is OR semicolon, 1 person killed during Portland protest.
Okay.
The story number, if you type in this story number in the search bar, it should come up, PY-01SU. Right, so I need a tease for this, and I need to copy and paste it. So since I'm in it, I'm going to go ahead and select all the script here, all the stuff. And I'm going to hit Control-C for copy. And then I'm going to go back to EMPS. And I'm going to go ahead and put my lead story in here. Portland shooting. Let's see, protest. And that's a package. So I'm going to label it package, right? I got to say what it is. And then when I put my story in, when I was looking at CNN, I noticed that that package was 1 minute, 38 seconds. 01:38. I'm going to hit enter right there under actual time. Okay. That way, at the bottom of the screen, it's going to start adding in my times, hopefully. And although sometimes my time is messed up, but here we go. All right, so I'm going to go back to my T's. I'm in my T's here. And oops, I got my caps on. And I'm going to come up with a keyword and put it in my banner. There it is, protester shot. And now I've got to write a different tease here. And really this story is about the new details. I know this seems like so much all at once. I know it is. But once you learn kind of the basic commands, it's the same process for every show. It's basically the same process for every story. So once you learn the process, then you kind of go through and you just kind of do it. All right, so now I got to write a tease for this. New details are emerging about a shooting in Portland over the weekend during a protest. We will have the details. All right, there's my tease, okay? So then I can move on to the next story I'm teasing, which I'm going to leave it the weather, right? In our local weather, I can say coming up. And look what I did here. I'm so bad. I didn't do the right sentence case. And there's a quick way to fix that. If you go to the green dot here, the green dot in your story script, you find all of these tools that can help you do stuff. And if I go to edit with this arrow, I could cut it, I could copy it, I could paste it, or I can come down here and go to switch case, and look, I can switch the whole thing to uppercase. Boom. That way I don't have to retype it. Just a little helper there. Okay. Then I'm going to need another story to tease. But of course, I don't know what that story is going to be yet. So I'm going to get out of my teases right now. I've got my open. That's done. There's my Portland shooting, which I misspelled. Okay. There. So now I got to go back to CNN, back to my script because I copied it, but then I messed it up. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to select all this. Control C. Then I go back to EMPS. I go, and it's really as easy as Control C and select everything in CNN, and then Control V and paste it in here. Now, if you're having trouble navigating from EMPS to CNN because you don't have these, commands up here to be able to minimize your screen, you can fix that. If you go to the green dot on the folder that has your whole name, this green dot, and you go to settings, got this blue box here, want to make sure it says run in window, and that box is checked, okay? When you do that, it's going to allow you to minimize and maximize the EMPS screen, and it's going to make your life exponentially easier, okay? All right, so I'm going to go back to EMPS. All right, so now, CNN scripts things differently than we do. Okay, so for our purposes, they're just giving us the information, but unfortunately we have to rearrange it a little bit. My show is what we call a single anchor show. So it's just going to be me anchoring. So I'm going to be reading the lead in here for my lead story. But my supers are out of place, so I need to move those. But first I'm going to put myself in here. Control L again to add the anchor, right? Boom, there I am. So now I've got kind of a mess. I got to move these supers. And CNN supers everything in their grandma, I'm telling you. Like, they just put a super on everything because there's a little CYA on their part, okay? But some of these supers we probably won't use. So I really want to cut that, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to cut. That's the green dot in the corner of your script. And it goes after package. The supers go after package. So after your take package command. So now I've got, see how I cleaned that up? I took those supers off the top, and it took me right to the lead-in, which is what I have to read. After the lead-in right here.
Where are we putting this up, supers?
I haven't put them yet. I'm going to show you in just 1 second. All right, so here's my lead-in. Britt Conway has a closer look at where the investigation stands and reaction from federal authorities. Right there, as an anchor, I'm tossing to Britt's package. So I know that after I say that, I'm going to have to put that take package command in. And CNN had it as reporter package starts here. So that's how you know that's where you put the command, because that's what CNN does. They say reporter package here. So right here, I'm going to use my Control K box. I'm going to pick package, and I'm going to insert. And there's my take package. Now I've got those supers, remember I cut them. So now I'm going to paste them. I'm going to do Control V. Boom, there are my supers. I'm going to put them right after take package, okay? And then I'm just going to move them down a little bit because I got to put one more piece of information in there. We need to know what the total running time of the package is. The director needs to know that. So I'm going to put TRT, oops, I need a capital, TRT colon, and it was what was it? 138, 430?
Yeah. 138.
Okay, so it was 138. So we'll put that, there we go.
Can you scroll through one more time, but a little slower so I can look at it?
Yes.
Make sure I have it right.
All right. So the first thing I did was I put myself as anchor. And I had copied and pasted from CNN into my script. And then I had to rearrange because CNN puts the supers at the top, but we don't because that would be a real mess in the teleprompter. So we want the lead in right under the anchor's name. Then we want the take package command. And then we want to say total running time, okay? And then the supers come after that. And then your package script is all in there, right? There it is. Lovely. Okay. We don't need this junk at the end, so we can take that out. And so I'm done with that script. And I just X out and hit yes for save. Okay, so there's my lead story. It's all done. I put it all in there. I got my anchor intro done. I've got my pre-show tease. I've got my lead story done. I need to find another story to tease, but I'm just not that far yet, right? So now I've got to look at CNN and I got to think, well, okay, what makes sense to go after the Portland shooting? I really like this story right here. And so what I probably want to do is talk about Chadwick Boseman's death, and then I want to have this story about, because today's Monday, right? So on Mondays, many times they do a quick review of the weekend news because a lot of times people don't watch news over the weekend. So it's okay to talk about stuff that happened over the weekend. So I would probably want to find, I don't know, maybe what I would do is I would use this video, and at the beginning of my script, which they don't have any script in here, I would have to write it. At the beginning of my script, I would talk about how he died of colon cancer, etc. There are several stories on here about that. Maybe it would be better. And see, you see how I'm having to process this in my brain and kind of organize these as I go, and you're going to change your mind a lot about that. Like, what is this Bosat? Like, I need another story about Boseman after the protest. Then I do the VO about the flags, right? So what is this one? This is, all right, so this is a VOSAT from Howard University. I would have to read the script for the VO. I don't know where the SOT is. This is coming up. I'm just waiting for there we go. Oh, okay, I like that. Let me see what they have the script in here. Okay. Star of Marbles. So one of the things you need to remember about, TV news is when you're writing a script, when you're producing a show, you have to write for the man in the moon, right? So you have to assume that whoever is watching, was in a black hole for the past week and knows none of the stories that took place. So I would actually adjust this script a little bit to tell, when Chadwick Boseman died, how he died, and then go into their script and, use the SOT. And then I would follow it up with, I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use it. I'll see. And then I would follow that with the VO of the flags. So I'm going to put this Boseman Howard University tribute. So one of the things, when you're giving your story a title, a story slug, the whole purpose of that is because if you're working at a real TV station, every time a show is produced on the air, these rundowns are archived and there is literally video attached to them. So therefore, a year from now, when it's like the anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's death and there's a memorial somewhere or whatever, you could go back to that archived script and get information, or you could access that video. So we want to be clear when we do a story slug, so that someday, if we need to find it, we can find it again. Okay, so that was a VOSOT. So I need to change this because this is old. We'll put VOSOT. I can't remember how long it was, of course. 50 seconds, okay? I'm going to change that. And then I got to come in here and I got to, take this old junk out. I can just select and delete any of the regular script, right, that isn't a command. Delete. And if it's a command, then I can either double click on it and just change it this way, and just change that to a SOT and update it. And you can drag this stuff, like, see where it says CNN put their SOT? I would just put my command right there. Take their junk out. And there it is. Up here, remember, because this is a VOSOT and they don't tell you where to do it, I have to take my VO, right? So, and I really needed to add something to this script. I would have to, like, when did Chadwick Boseman die? Was that Friday? Somebody can tell me.
Yes. I don't know.
Saturday? Okay.
Saturday.
All right, so I just wanted to add some to this. The nation continues to mourn the death of actor Chadwick Boseman, star of the film The Black Panther, who died on Saturday of colon cancer at the age of 43. Okay, so that just brings everybody in the world up to date. Here's what happened in case you missed it. Now I'm going to talk about what's happening now, which is a memorial in tribute to Chadwick Boseman has been. We just said his name, so we're just going to use his last name. Boseman has been set up on Howard University's campus in Washington. Let's put DC. Another thing to remember about CNN, like, they're just regular people writing these scripts, and really sometimes you have to fix them because they weren't well written. Somebody was in a hurry. There was a typo. Somebody's writing this, from the 212th market, and they literally just graduated from college, so they're kind of like you and just kind of starting out. So, yeah. So you want to read the scripts carefully, and then you want to adapt them as much as you need to. All right, so there's my script for my VOSOT, right? So I have that done. So I'm going to X out, and I'm going to say save yes.
What is butted?
Butted means 2 SOTs back to back. So, and you can do that. You can be pretty creative with SOTs. You can have a VOSOT, you can have a SOT VO, you can have a SOT VO, you can have a SOT. It's basically, so let's say a reporter goes out to do a man on the street, and they ask the question, do you think the movie The Black Panther was, one of the greatest movies of all time? And then they interview 3 people. And those 3 people, the way you would script that would be butted SOTs, because probably you would just cut from one soundbite to the next, and that's how you would edit it together, and you would have an anchor lead in for that. So those would be sound bites butted together. That's what they are. So that means that the anchor is not reading in between. There's no track in between. They're just pre-recorded sound bites that you edited, and you just went bite, bite, bite. That's how it goes. Does that make sense?
Ma'am, thank you.
Okay. All right, so now I want to go back, I'm going to find my South Carolina story, right? Because, I can't believe Chadwick Boseman died. I think that's so crappy. Anyway, so I'm going to put this, I want to do this one because Anderson, South Carolina is where he was from. South Carolina was his home state. And so we could put that in the script if they had a script. But this is just going to be a VO. So that's going to be my next story. Oh, I don't want to download. Oops. We don't have to download anything because we're just doing scripts. So I'm going to put my next story as Carolina flags staff Boseman. Okay? And that's a VO. I'm going to click in that box, I'm going to backspace, and I'm going to type VO. And this isn't going to be very long. It's only going to be about 10 seconds. And then I'm going to have to write a script for it. Got to take that estimated time out. I'll make it 10 seconds there. So let me open up this script. Nothing about winter storms. Get rid of this because it's not a package. So I double clicked on my command so I could open the box. I'm going to change that to VO because that's what I'm doing now. today, flags flew at half staff in South Carolina, Chadwick Boseman's home state. Bozeman, and I just know this from a story I heard on NPR. So then I'm gonna have to, and this might just have to be like et cetera, because I don't want to to look all this up maybe, but Bozeman and South Carolina, because we need a little more information for that VO pop. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, they should do that. Cool. All right, let's put that in. I can copy it. Take this out. So maybe what I need to do is just take the VO, let's see, and use this as a tag to the story so it still makes sense. I could make this thing. I don't want to like mess you guys up because we usually don't do this. But if I were really producing the show, what I would do is I would go from this Bozeman Howard Memorial Fosat to this, and I would not have the anchor in between. Instead, I would wipe, okay? And a wipe, basically, you can only do between like stories. And they have to be really alike. So it could be, same weather, same story. Basically, it's about the same story, but maybe it's taking place in another location. So here we're going to wipe and, we're going to wipe to the video. And then we're going to talk about this other matter where they want to replace the Confederate statue with his statue, which is a cool story. So reading this. So what we could do is show that video. We need to add a little bit more about Bozeman up here so we can have it a little bit longer time for the video. So I'm just gonna make a note, add more about Bozeman bio. And then I'm gonna take the anchor back on camera. Oh shit, I need control out. So then I'm gonna come back on camera and I'm gonna read this story. Change it to all caps. Which I can do. Remember how we do that? The green dot, and we're gonna switch case. Boom. And then I need to find some video of this, right? So I'm gonna pretend I've got some. Like that, all right? And then I'm just gonna continue reading until the video is over. So that was a pretty fancy one. I don't expect you to do that, but if you get it and you understand what I just did, then yeah, by all means, go for it. So is everybody still kind of with me?
Slightly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
The scripts that you copied and pasted for the flags, the half staff.
Uh-huh.
Where did you go for that? Like
I literally did a Google search for that, and I found it on NPR. Like, and that's not going to happen every time. Like, most of the time, you're probably going to just, get your stories off of CNN, and it's going to be, and that's what you're going to use.
Okay, so now when we have like local stories, when we actually like
Uh-huh.
right, like on our own.
So you cut out there a little bit. So yes, so if you're going to put some local stories in there, instead of making it more of a national newscast just because we have access to CNN, then yeah, you would write those on your own. And so you would find the information, in the local newspaper. The assumption is that a reporter would have gone out and gotten the story for you. But of course, we don't have a team of reporters working with this on our show. And so therefore we have to rely on the newspaper, etc. So yeah, you would write your own. So now I've led with this, and I think this would be a nice place actually to do the first forecast because, I'm going to transition to other news after this. So first forecast, this says go to Weather Center, but that's not exactly how you do it. It's going to be, we're going to have somebody doing the weather. So, pick somebody in the class who would be your weather person, your meteorologist. And so I'm going to, because Marcus was just talking, I'm going to have Marcus do the weather for me. So Marcus would be, if you've ever noticed when you watch a local newscast, usually, there are 3 places at the anchor desk. A lot of times they'll just do a one shot, but those people are still sitting over there. They're just sitting, waiting their turn, and they're not on camera. So now I'm going to take a 3 shot. I would take the 3 shot, and then maybe I'm going to toss to Marcus and say, now let's have a look at the first forecast. What can we expect, Marcus? Right? So this is all very conversational, and so then you're going to write about the first forecast. Now, if we were doing our PNN 5 at 5, and producing it on the set, we would have made a weather PowerPoint, right, which would serve as the graphic. Like the TriCaster will accept PowerPoints as graphics. So we would have made a nice graphic and it would have shown the 7-day forecast. But instead, we're just going to write about it. Okay, so, it's Monday. What's the weather going to be like the rest of the week? Who knows? Let's go find out. So now I got to see. Let's go to WNCT weather.
And don't like the meteorologists, they ad lib like a lot
Oh,
and
yeah.
don't read off the prompter.
Oh, totally. Right. And because when, after a while, when you've been doing this a long time, that just comes completely naturally. And once I was producing the midday newscast, which is the noon, when I was at WRDW. And I don't know, one of the packages didn't roll. It had something happen. We lost a live shot. Anyway, we had this like 3-minute hole in the midday, and I had nothing to put in it. Like I was completely screwed. And so I talked, and the weather guy's IFB, his name was Neil Gordon. And I told him after the break, before we went to weather, I said, Neil, you need to talk about a lot of weather because I got a 3-minute hole and I need you to fill for me. And he said, Mary, I could talk about a bag of chips for 10 minutes. I said, you go, buddy. And he did. He just talked about weather. And by God, he saved my ass that day. So, they're very accustomed to being able to do that if they've anchored or been a meteorologist for a while. Like they can adjust their time on a dime. So here's our legit 7-day forecast. So basically you look at this picture and you can see, all right, it's going to be partly cloudy today, 30% chance of isolated thunderstorms. So, all right, so then we got to write about that, right? Things may be a little wet in your area today and tomorrow. And we need that graphic, right? So we got to tell them Control K. And we're just going to say WX is short for weather.
How do we add the command anchor again? I forgot.
Control L.
Oh.
Yeah, and then just type your name in there. All right, so we're going to take the weather graphic, and then Marcus is going to keep on talking. Today we see a 30%, not 230%, 30% chance of showers. With partly sunny skies. Tomorrow, a bit less of a chance. Now remember, they're looking at the graphic while Marcus is saying this, so he can be real conversational. Tomorrow, a bit less of a chance of rain. And then the rest of the week looks pretty clear with sunny skies through the weekend. Right? So if we read that, sorry, I'm drinking water. We read that, it should sound, kind of conversational, right? So things, all right, now let's have a look at the first forecast. What can we expect, Marcus? And then Marcus says, things may be a little wet in your area today and tomorrow. We take the graphic. We're looking at the graphic. Today we'll see a 30% chance of showers with partly sunny skies. Tomorrow, a bit less of a chance of rain. And then the rest of the week looks pretty clear with sunny skies through the weekend. Right? Simple as that. Okay. I'm going to save that. I'm going to make this in capital letters because it's not. There we go. All right. So now basically, I just have to fill up the rest of the block. And in the 30-minute show, your A block, see where it says A, A1, A2, A3, all the way up to the T's. When you put that break in, and the way you get a break is you check the break box right here. See that box? Just put a check mark in there. And EMPS knows what a break is. And so then they're going to make your B block, and they're going to change from A to B in the rows. And that's going to be weather. But we need 9 to 10 stories, including first forecast. And that would be not including the anchor intro. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need about 5 more here. So we got to go back to CNN. We got to figure out what's going on in the world, right? All right, how about some questions before I fill in, more stories here? Because we only have
Could you
15 minutes left.
say again, how do you add the page, like add like an A7 or 8, like
So you want to add, when you say add the page,
like you see where like
a row?
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah,
Okay.
a row.
So if you want to add a row, so put your cursor over here, like under where it says page, right? Oh, now I know why it's page. All right, and then hit Control-I for insert.
Okay.
And then put in your story title right there, whatever it is. What do I want to do a story about? There's got to be something going on with the virus. So I'm going to do COVID-19 update. That's what I'm going to do. And that's going to be after my first forecast. Boom. Okay. So now I got to move that. Come back down here. And then I have to find probably a package. So if you'll notice, so I led with the package. You always lead with the package. Because if it's important enough to be your lead story, then you need to give it a format that's going to give your audience plenty of time to learn about the story, right? So it needs to be a package. So then I have a VOSOT and a VO, and then I've got first forecast, which...
Question. For some reason, when I hit COVID, or I put COVID-19 update, and then over to type in package, but it brought over 19 update. So like my story slug says COVID, and then my segment says 19 update for some reason. And then when I went to try to add it again, it did the same thing.
Why don't you throw that row away? If you want to throw something away, I want to throw this Trump wall away.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. So we're going to take A9. I'm going to put my cursor over A9, and I'm going to hold down the left button on my mouse, and I'm going to drag it to the trash can. Boom. See how it disappears? Now it's gone.
Thank you.
So get rid of that, put in a new row. Somehow you probably did this. I don't know. There are a few things in here sometimes that you can click on that will then, change the way something looks, and it'll really mess with you. And it's generally a really simple thing to fix. But if you don't fix it, it just messes you up totally.
Same thing happening.
Same thing?
Yeah, let me try. I typed in package first, so let me see if that changes anything. Is
there any punctuation in your story slug? Sometimes if you put punctuation in it by accident, it'll mess up.
Because I put the dash for COVID-19.
Right, so take that out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Because sometimes EMPS reads punctuation as some command that you don't want it to do. That work? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So now I got to find a COVID-19 coronavirus. Coronavirus life? What does that mean? Okay. No. Coronavirus health, coronavirus. Here we go. Trending 147 stories. All right, so we could get a couple of stories out of this, no doubt. So we've got a VO out of Detroit with a memorial for people who have died. Good story, but we need a package before that. So we need that primary COVID package, that one that's going to say everything that's going on, the latest with COVID, right? We got to find that. Somebody must be doing that. Oh, here's a nice VO about the vaccine. So that would be a good one. Let me see if there are any others. Because what I'm looking for is some kind of an update about like numbers, right? Like how many people today, what's the count? How many people have had it? How many people have died? How many, across the country? Salvador.
There's a story on CNN that says like like global. It says COVID-19 cases surpasses 25 million.
Oh, okay.
It said that was posted on August 30th.
Number for it, Marcus?
Huh?
Do you see the number that we can type in for it?
I just typed in COVID and then it was like
Hmm.
the second, not the second, but like the fourth story down, the fourth or fifth story.
Oh, is it this?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, I think it's that one, or it's one of them. Wait,
It's file video.
I really want what I was looking for.
I don't know if y'all can hear me,
Is
but I just sent the story number.
Oh, in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. IN21SU.
oh,
Oh, there we go. All right, that's a VO. I was looking for a package, but we could do a couple of VOs back to back. We could do this nice VO of the global cases, right? And then we could go to that Miami package.
with the restaurants.
With the restaurants. Yeah. So let's do we're gonna do global COVID count. That's what I'm gonna call this, and it's a VO. Change that to VO, and I don't know how long it was, but I'm gonna give it 30 seconds. And then I'm gonna do Miami restaurant reopen. Oops, I can type that out. And I know that's package, and I don't know how long it was. Let me see. How long is this VO? 45 seconds. I need to copy, and I'm going to paste that in. Yes. Control L, put myself in as anchor. You see, after you do a story or two, like you start learning the commands, and then you can kind of move through this pretty easily.
I only
One night?
Spanish.
What'd you say?
I can't find the story. I typed in the number
Mm-hmm.
and see the like COVID, but it's like written in not English. The script.
Right. Yes. Okay. I think they did the Spanish version at the end. So here I have, and they did at the top they describe the video, which we really don't. We can use the supers. See, it says Spanish script available below. Okay.
So do we need to paste the whole like Spanish and English script?
Nope. Because
Just
unless your station broadcasts in Spanish, you wouldn't need it.
Okay.
Right?
So from December up to supers.
So I'm going to get these supers out of here because I'm going to have to put them underneath the VO. Now, generally, when we do a VO, we don't use supers because it's not necessary most of the time. The script gives enough detail that people know what you're talking about. But in this particular case, they've gotten file video from all over the world. And so in this case, I would actually super things, because look, you've got file video from Brazil, California, and usually I kind of condense these so we don't use as much paper. And it's easier to go through the scripts, right? And also, all right, so this is a little thing. A lot of stations, it's just kind of a TV thing. They label video as file. I really personally and just as a matter of integrity, I just think putting file up is not good for your audience because normal people who don't work in TV news don't know what file is. What is file? Like I remember sitting on the couch and my husband asking me that one time, what's file? And then I had to explain to what it was. So it's better just to put where, the video is. And if it's got a timestamp on it, like if you need to put a date or something, then you should do that, right? All right, so then I got to put my script up here. I've got all these supers here. Some of this is kind of messy, so I got to get it out of there. A lot of this is kind of cleanup. Here's my script. Got to put that. I got to move that up because it's like down here. And I want to move it and clean this up. So I'm going to cut that. Put it here. But I've got to take the VO sooner. So now I got to move this crap again. Probably I'm going to take the VO right here after, first we're going to see the anchor on camera. Anchor is going to say more than 25 million people have been infected with the COVID-19 worldwide. And then I'm going to take the video. So I got to get back down here and get my command because, I'm a loser and I put it down here. Okay.
You're going slightly fast.
Am
I don't know.
I?
I know. It could just be me. It could just be me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
I know. All right. So I'm going too fast. Okay. So.
Could you just scroll slowly so we know what our script should look like now? Go to the
I
top.
hate the fact that I can't follow. Like I'm following along, but like I can't actually do it along with y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were able to get into the computer. It didn't let you in.
No, ENPS keeps giving me. It says that I don't have access, so I can't. I don't have access, so it says you don't have access to this on this computer. I don't know what it said, but I tried it again and it's still not working. So I don't know.
So, and which computer are you on?
It did the same thing on Austin's computer, but then I switched it back to mine once I figured out what was wrong. It let me log on the computer, but it's not letting me get onto ENPS on either one.
do you see the EMPS icon? Do you see that AP thing?
Yeah, I see that, and I clicked on it. I clicked open, and it acted like it was gonna start it, but then like a little pop-up window came on, and it said you do not have access to this. And the only option that I could choose was all I could do was hit OK. And then I tried to do it again. I logged out, and then I tried to do it again, and it's still not working. I tried it on Austin's computer, and I tried it.
I'm looking at something here. And you all don't have to do this. This is an administrative thing. All right. So what is your pirate ID?
My Thompson AMA 16.
Oh, shit. That's it. All right. Hang on. Thompson AMA
16.
16. My God. Okay. That's it.
All right, so I'm gonna try it again now. See
Hang on. Don't try yet. I gotta get it in here. Okay. There. All right. Now you should be in.
Okay.
And you have a folder. Don't you? Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I have a folder.
Yeah.
And logging back onto the computer. All right, now I'm gonna try it again.
Okay.
Why it's not letting me like I can't click on the screen like how y'all are. It keeps giving me access like button or open file, troubleshoot, pin to taskbar, but it's not letting me like just click on it. I think it's something that I did. I'm gonna have to play with it to see, but I'm trying to open EMPS and it's not letting me. This is so annoying.
You know. All right. So I think it would be good to set up for you to set up a meeting with Brian and tell him what's going on.
Okay.
So that he knows.
Okay. I'm gonna send him an email.
Yeah. All right, so our class is actually over. So I'm going to make a note. We're going to do this again on Wednesday. Like I really just have to do WebEx with you guys because you don't know how to do it yet. So I'm going to keep doing this until everybody is able to get access, knows how to do EMPS, and then, you know, at the very last week or two of this semester, we can, you know, just work on our shows and, you know, maybe we could do it. I could just be sitting here in the room and you can call me with questions or say some question on WebEx or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But next time I will not scroll so fast. I'm sorry. It's just a matter of habit and because I've used it before, but I need to be aware of that. So I will slow down. And if I start to go too fast, like, just tell me, okay? Just say, slow down, and I will do that. All right, so at least we were able to do, you know, a couple of things.
We really got active today. So
and I was able to show you a couple of things. So, you know, I'm going to go into the syllabus. The syllabus is just trashed, right? It's just trashed. All we've got left is the 30-minute show and the website. That's what we're going to do this semester. Not doing the rest. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to fix that, and update it on Canvas. And, you know, it'll just be like 50-50, those two assignments. Well, and actually, we already did the newscast assignment, so yeah, that's great. So, yeah.
So, I had a question.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. I don't remember it. It went away that fast. Okay, never mind. Don't remember it.
All right.
Alright.
So I'm going to sign off for now. And we will come back.
So we need to log back into our VPN every time for the remote access.
Right.
Okay.
But now that you have it downloaded on your computers, it should be a lot easier.
Right. You don't have to do the whole
Right.
thing. Just log in.
Right.
Okay.